YouTube Oziko and the Goat House is back with my locks and bets of the week, going over spread, alternate spread, straight up money line upsets, over-unders. We even got a college game in there, Thursday night player props in there, so a lot to go over here. We do this every single Thursday. Follow us on Twitter, always posting my betting slips there and different options for parlays or just any type of bet. So check us out there. Links pinned in the comments for that, and our sponsors, GLD Shop and Liquid IV. We have a long list of content here every single week. Against the spread picks for every single game, straight up picks, scores, everything. We got you, and we're always adding more videos. Trade deadline videos coming out now. We have a recent big one. Check it out. Links pinned in the comments for anything you're looking for. Let's go on to my spread lock of the week. I'll go with the Lions +3, getting 3 points. I have them winning the game. Of course, it's tough because they don't have David Montgomery, but Gibbs should be back. We'll see. But I think they can win the game. So getting 3 points looks pretty good. There's some weeks where I'm like, yes, this is the lock. It is, yeah, for sure. I feel great about it. This week, I like these. That's why they're on here. But it's not, there's no like easy, like eye-popping, like, wow, that's an easy one here this week. But I do like Green Bay -1. Maybe you might as well go money line. You'll feel a little more comfortable, or -1 on that one. I think they'll win the game. It's growing on me more and more because it is in Denver, but the Packers to me are better on both sides of the ball. The Packers' struggles have been offense though, but they can pound the football and control the clock. Aaron Jones coming back also elevates the passing game as well against the Broncos defense that everyone's running all over. And the Packers defense is pretty underrated. It's sneaky good. So I think they'll be able to lock down Russ. So I got them number 2. I actually have the Chargers winning. That is very bold. I'm not going to guarantee they're winning, but I think that stays within 3 points. So +5.5. I got a gut feeling about the Chargers in that one. So that is my next favorite spread pick there. I also love Jacksonville if Trevor Lawrence plays. He's game time decision, so it made it tough on me here. I think they will push for him to play based on what I'm hearing. But yeah, the Jags plus whatever they are right now, it was 1 and it was bouncing up to 2. So they were kind of thinking maybe he doesn't play, but I do like the Jags. And then Cleveland against the spread, I love even more than the Jags one. If Deshaun Watson plays, that one probably would have been high up, maybe in the battle with the Lions for the lock. But it sounds like he's participating in practice today for the first time in a while. We'll see what they do, but I do like those ones that the quarterbacks play. I see my record in the top right. Wish we can do a little bit better. Some weeks were really good. My against the spread picks, if you take all of them, it's the most recent video, have been really, really good if you take all of them there. So maybe you check out that video to get a better look at all my against the spread picks, and it shows scores for this week here in week 7. Feeling pretty good about week 7. Alternate spreads we started doing a couple weeks ago, 2-0 on the lock. So can we go 3-0? So these are, obviously you're not going to bet these by itself because it's terrible odds, obviously. So this is if you like doing parlays. I've been loving doing these, including these in parlays, whether it's all alternate spread, like a 3-game parlay with alternate spreads, not a bad idea. Or if you get a money line game with one alternate spread, you can play around with it too. But 2-0 on those, 6-3 on all the alternate spreads. But I like the Bills -2.5 versus the Patriots. I think they'll cover that 8.5 where they're at. I almost included that in the spread locks, but something crawling on me right now. Gonna get bit by a spider mid-video. But yeah, it's a little bit much. I mean, they could win by a touchdown and you lose that, but I'm confident with them actually at the 8.5. So bring it down to just under a field goal, and it's not the worst odds in the world. So throw that in with the parlay. I'll definitely throw that in with the parlay this week. Lions +7. You feel comfortable with that extra touchdown. They're already getting 3 points, so you bump that up a little bit. The Chargers +10. I think they can win the game. I don't see how they lose by more than 10 points. Green Bay +6 looks pretty good if you want to try and throw it into parlay. Miami +7. Tampa +3. Tampa should cover the 2.5. Another one. The Dolphins and the Bucks were other ones I almost threw in my spread locks, like the normal spread. But the Dolphins, I have winning, but they could lose by 3. Then you lose the bet, obviously, at the normal line. The Bucks should cover that 2.5, but feel more comfortable with a 3. And again, Jacksonville +7 could be an alternate if Trevor Lawrence plays tonight. And then the Browns +3. is a great one as well if Deshaun Watson plays. So some good options if any stand out and you're trying to do a parlay. Go ahead and throw some of those in there. Maybe 1, 2, use a 3-game parlay with alternate spreads. I think people are doing it the wrong way. If you're doing a normal spread 3-game parlay, I think you're definitely doing it the wrong way there. I know you're going for crazy odds probably, but straight up lock, which we are 6-0 on the year on the actual lock, so we're 100%, and we almost blew it. The Bills almost blew it for us last week. We're going to go with the Bills again. They're playing the Patriots. There's really isn't too many obvious yes, that team will win. I got the Bills. I got the Seahawks. I will throw the Browns up there if Deshaun Watson plays, but even the Seahawks should be, Cardinals been tough for teams, but they're kind of, getting game plan for a little bit better. They're lacking the talent. It's showing the second half of games where teams adjust for them. The Seahawks, I think if anything, they just run the ball all over them, win the game that way, but they can throw the ball. The defense is also getting better, so I do like the Seahawks at number 2 there. But 6-0 on the straight up blocks, 21-7 on all the picks here, so we should be able to go 7-0 on that lock. The Bills almost cost us last week for that perfect record, the survivor picks basically, which we are using the same team more than once, so I guess it's not survivor, but hopefully it helps people with that. For my upset Moneyline picks, which the record's pretty good, given that we're forcing underdog picks. If Trevor Lawrence plays, which I think he will, that will be my lock. If he doesn't, then I guess I don't have a lock. But they should be able to win that ball game against the Saints. But that's again, it's in New Orleans. Lawrence a little beat up. The Saints got a great defense. It could go either way. I just don't trust the Saints to score enough in this game. Then we'll go Lions, who I have winning. Plus 130 looks pretty good. Miami I have winning as well, plus 114. And it's a little bold, but I have the Chargers winning. Kind of got a gut feeling. I had that full breakdown in that most recent score predictions video. But I like the way their defense is playing. The offense steps up this game. Chiefs been winning, but they've been a little underwhelming. I don't think there's going to be as much scoring in that game as people think. I still think both teams will be in the 20s, but we'll see. But been doing pretty good on those upset picks. Last week it was lone Texans over Saints, and that happened. Obviously, we're going against the Saints again. But if Trevor Lawrence doesn't play, I don't like that. But Saints could win even if Trevor Lawrence does play. Over-under locks, but the one thing that has not been going good this year, my over-under picks, games have had weird outcomes, in terms of the total. Even Monday night, which I didn't have on here, but the Monday night game I thought would be a high-scoring game. I think everyone did between the Cowboys and the Chargers, and the refs completely controlled that game, and I think it was more so that resulted in lower scoring. But I'm not making excuses because I didn't have that game on here even, but I think it's just been a little weird. So I got one pick here. I thought about Green Bay, Denver under. Depending on who plays quarterback for the Browns, that could be an under, but it could be Watson. So I think the Eagles and the Dolphins is an absolute shootout. The Dolphins' offense has been the best in football this year. Their defense has been so underwhelming. It's been kind of bad, to be honest. But they'll get Jalen Ramsey back soon. He's not back yet, though. And they're... So they can score on anybody, right? And a lot of teams can score on them. Maybe the Panthers started hot even against them. And they're playing the Eagles, who had a bad offensive performance last week against the Jets, one of the best defense in football. They're a little salty. They'll be able to score. Look at the Eagles. They score points. One of the better offenses in football. And they'll have a step-up game compared to last week. Their defense, they have a good defensive line, a good pass rush, but you could really air it out on this defense. The secondary's beat up. They're not nowhere near as well coached as they were last year. They're a little more predictable. They're not a versatile secondary. They were able to run all kinds of different coverages last year, not so much this year. So, and you're going against a high-powered passing attack, speedy, get early separation. This should be over 51.5. I had a shootout. I had a 30-27 final. That would be 57. I'm not guaranteeing it's going to be 57, but I don't know how it wouldn't go over 51.5. So we'll go with that. But the locks haven't been good this year, under 500 on the total picks, and that's including the locks. So the actual other picks that weren't locks, I guess I've been doing pretty good. I'm actually, if we're only counting those, I guess I'm above 500 on those. But I only have a lock this week, so interesting. So if you're trying to put together a parlay, these are the best ranked, what I would do. If you want best single bets, we kind of just went over that, the best spread picks, the best this, that. So, and you kind of can include those or if you're just trying to do single bets. But kind of want to rank good parlay options here. I like those first three. I'm definitely thinking about doing that myself. I'll do something like that myself. I post my tickets on Twitter always, give my suggestions. And I have a link pinned in the comments for you get free bonus, but you basically get free money, but in bonus bets, and you get odds boosts. I'll put a link down below. It's through DraftKings. But Bills alternate line, they should cover that. The Lions, I think, could win the game +7, and throw in a Seattle money line. Or you could, if you want to do a 3-game parlay, maybe you like the Chargers +10 idea better than the Seattle money line. Swap those. Maybe you like it better than the Detroit +7. There's an option. If you want to go the 4-game parlay, throw that in there. If Trevor Lawrence plays, and I don't like pairing Thursday games with Sunday games, though. I hate the wait, so, but I do like Jags money line. Detroit money line's an option, too. You get some good odds there, which I think is a good bet. I think the Chargers will win, so if you're going for crazy odds, but it's pretty bold, and maybe people would say it's unlikely, so I didn't throw that under my best bets, even though I do like it. Miami alternate line, so you kind of can mix and match here. Like, come in this video, what do you like, and then, did I convince you, or do we agree on something, and then kind of put it together. So some good parlay options, but my favorite bets in general, we kind of talked about them. Lions +3 looks pretty good if you don't want to tack on as much as 7, you want to keep some decent odds. The Green Bay pick, you might as well go money line, or you can go -1. Looks pretty good. Some of these games depends on the injuries. Jacksonville is a little trickier, I guess. I do like some player props we're about to talk about, but the Browns, if Watson plays, I like the Browns in some bets, obviously. So it's really on you if you're trying to parlay. But these are my favorites. I've been loving going alternate lines this year, or you can use one of the alternate lines, pair it with the Detroit +3 or Green Bay -1, something along those lines. So just giving you suggestions here, but some good suggestions for Thursday night props between the Jags and the Saints. And I'm blocking my most recent player prop win, but it's all right. But I'll post my tickets and suggestions on Twitter. I like to wait a little bit, see what changes. Sometimes it hurts you, but things aren't available right away. So I know Kamara, the 25+ receiving, the alternate receiving, which is at the top because it's my favorite one. It wasn't available actually, but it's just before I record it was available on my app. But I do like, you see at the bottom, I listed some single bets if you want to do one thing. My favorite one is Kamara over 30.5 receiving. He should get that. So that's a really good single bet. But I was going to make a parlay. You get a 50% odds boost on Thursday night, which is a great deal. Sometimes you can do just two player props and get the 50% boost. Sometimes they make you do 3 depending on the game. But love that from DraftKings. Again, links pinned in the comments for that. But Kamara up 25+ receiving, I think should be an absolute lock. I think he gets over the 30.5, but 25+. Olave 50+. If you're getting, again, you get the odds boost. If you're already getting pretty good odds. If you have two things in there like Kamara, maybe ETN 50+, you can bump Olave down to 40+ receiving. I may do that myself. It's got to tinker with this stuff. But I do think Olave gets over 50. If you're not worried about odds, you're trying to win, you just need something a little extra, go Olave 40+. ETN, he should get over that 50. The Saints are really good stopping the run, but I don't know if they want to have Lawrence drop back and throw a million times. ETN should get his action, even if it's a good run defense. He's a guy that can explode for 50 yards on one play. Carr 200+. Thought about 225. If you're comfortable with that, you get a little bit better odds, obviously. He should get over the 225, but it's tough because he's had his games where he gets just over 100, and then he has his games where he's getting well over 300. So the Jags pass defense is a little they'll take up the ball away, but they'll give up big plays down the field. He should get over 200. They should keep on passing. You can't really run the ball too well on the Jags defense. So I feel much more comfortable with 200+. Shaheed 25+. He should get over that. He can get over that with one catch. He's been getting over that, so I think that's a pretty solid one as well. Ingram, same thing. He's been getting over that every single week. So those are very small numbers too. Those guys can get it in one or a couple catches. Alternate total points. Put that up to 50.5, and it should be under. With two defensive. Well, Saints are a defensive team. Jags run defense, make plays on defense. Lawrence a little beat up. The Saints don't score a whole lot of points. Should stay under. Christian Kirk 40+. Pretty good. I like that more if Trevor Lawrence plays, but I actually really do like it if Trevor Lawrence plays because he's a guy who can kind of get the ball, screen pass, slant, back shoulder, deep ball. He can get that. He's gonna get if Trevor Lawrence doesn't want to sit back there and bomb it, all day. He's a guy you can get the ball to in many ways. So he should, if you get a decent amount of action, you're pretty much guaranteed to get over 40 plus. And if you want to pair 2 or 3 of those together, but they're not the best odds, you can get a 50% odds boost. Put that through DraftKings, but use my link pinned in the comments there. It'll bring you to Twitter. Then you click that link through Twitter. But the best single bets, we talked about Kamara. That's my favorite one. Olave should get over 62.5, but there are multiple options there. And Shaheed 34.5, you can get that on one play. And I do have a bonus college football one, smaller game, but 2 pretty good teams for smaller teams. James Madison and Marshall. I think that should go over 49. Looking at those teams, what they've been doing, and they're pretty good teams. That should easily go over 49. But I guess. Sometimes these teams like to focus on running the clock, and I guess that's why it's a little lower than expected. So if you don't know anything about those teams, I'd probably stay away just because it's not in your gut, You got to have fire in your gut to bet on it. But, if you know college football, if you know those 2 teams, they've been pretty decent. They've been scoring a lot of points. For 49 looks a little low. That looks pretty decent. So this is a bonus option for you guys here, mainly an NFL video. So, I'm still undecided. I'm tempted to go pairing 3 things together here with the 50% odds boost because I like so many things. But the 2-player props with the 50% odds boost is guaranteed. Usually they've been hitting fairly easily. So we'll see what I end up doing. But follow us on Twitter, turn notifications on. There's a lot. It's not just the bets. There's a lot going on there. There's just not in video format, but there's more going on there than on our channel. So I always recommend following that. Links pinned in the comments for that. Anything else you're looking for, that is going to wrap it up for this one. If you haven't head over to our channel yet, do that. Check out our recent videos, weekly coverage of the NFL, and have those bonus videos like trade deadline, NFL draft stuff, and there's more of that coming. So join us. That's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.